Is curable. The only thing is that doctors are calling it a superbug now, and that antibiotics that used to work against it aren't anymore. So may or may not be curable. And then what was the last one?
Syphilis.
Syphilis, which is curable if you catch it in time, but if you don't, it can do permanent damage. And so you don't necessarily have to know all the stuff about the STDs. On these new dice games, we put some of the facts about the STDs on the back. So you could literally flip it over and have the person read it. So you don't have to just know it. So you rolled 9 times, you picked up 6 cards, not a lucky roller.
No, when I played this at the training,
Did you do worse?
No, I did better. I had quite a few,
clears.
Not clears.
So Connie, what did you get?
I ended up with 2 broken hearts, 3 babies, and HPV.
Wow. So you would need $33,000 for 1 year. And 2 broken hearts, so you're pretty depressed. That's usually when I'll ask them, did you want to go to college one day? Most of them will say yes. And then, okay, you now have 3 babies. Is it going to be easy to go to college? Of course not. What does college require? Time and money. What do babies require? Time and money. So just kind of making it personal to their life so that they, take it in for themselves. Because a lot of them just think, well, this can't happen to me. So what did you end up with?
I was going along pretty well.
Yeah, you were.
But then I got 2 broken hearts, and then HIV/AIDS, and then a baby.
Okay, so you're picking kind of loser guys because they're not working out. They're breaking your heart, right? Not finding the right one. Then one of them gave you a fatal disease. We know that it will kill you. There is no cure. And then you have a baby which may now have HIV, which we know will be orphaned because eventually you are going to die of that disease. So did either of you get to pick the consequences that you got?
No.
Did you get to pick the order they came in?
No.
Did these consequences care what you looked like, what you were into, what your goals in life were? Didn't matter. It was a gamble every single time you rolled the dice. Same thing with sex. Do people get pregnant every single time they have sex? No. But do they ever know when it's going to happen? No. Do people get an STD every single time they have sex? No. But do they ever know when it's going to happen? It is a gamble, just like rolling that dice. Now, these are the odds using a condom every single time you have sex, what we all call safe. These were better odds. I gave you better than the real life odds, and you still ended up with all of this. So is there really such a thing as safe sex? Definitely not. So that's kind of how I lead through it. If you read this over, I think it has pretty much everything that I said. If you think of something cool that you want to share, I think kids really relate to personal stories. If you have someone in your family, I'll usually ask them, do you guys know anyone in your life that had to give up their goal in life because of a pregnancy?
My daughter.
And yeah, I mean, most of us know someone. I have a couple cousins who did, and and then I'll say, think really hard, and then a few more hands will go up. And I say to them, I don't want that to be you. I want you to reach your goal, because your goal is worth pursuing. And in the classroom, we do a whole activity where I find out their goals. And so it makes it even more real to them. But even talking about heartbreaks, so many, we played this at Thornton Fest a couple weeks ago. It's like an open air festival and people come. And so many of the women who played, when they got a broken heart, they'd say, oh, this is real life. Oh, this is typical of my life. So a lot of people can relate to the broken hearts. If they've never had an STD, if they've never dealt with an unwanted pregnancy, most people you're going to get on the broken heart. And you can, use that to relate with them. So broken heart. Suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death in teenagers. Oftentimes the reason has been related to a real or perceived loss, like breaking up with a boyfriend or girlfriend. So in the dice game, you have a 1 out of 6 chance of getting your heart broken. Baby. 1 baby costs about $11,000 a year just to clothe, feed, and provide diapers. This money does not cover medical care or formula. Oh, nice. Here's the baby card. STDs. 1 out of 4 sexually active teenagers will end up with an STD. Human papillomavirus. It's viral. There are over 100 different strains. 40 of them are genital. The high-risk strains cause cancer, 99% of all cervical cancer, and low-risk strains cause genital warts. HIV. It's viral, it attacks the immune system, it turns into full-blown AIDS, and it leads to death.
We have room on one side for.
Herpes. It's viral. People have outbreaks of ulcers. You do not have to be having an outbreak to be contagious. Chlamydia. It's bacterial. Half of men and 3/4 of women have no symptoms. It can lead to pelvic inflammatory disease in women, which can lead to infertility. Syphilis. Syphilis is bacterial. It has 4 stages. In the first stage, you develop a sore. Second stage, you have flu-like symptoms and the sore heals. Third stage, you feel normal. Fourth stage, it attacks your central nervous system, and it can do permanent damage in the third and fourth stage. Gonorrhea. It's bacterial. Symptoms include a burning sensation while urinating. It can lead to pelvic inflammatory disease in women, which can lead to infertility. Trichomonas, also known as trichomoniasis. It is a parasite. It is the second most common STD out there. Most people will not have symptoms, but it is curable. So how to play the dice game? You're going to roll 9 times. It represents 9 years of sexual activity before marriage. Average age of marriage is 25 years old. If you roll a 1, you will pick up a baby card, which means you got pregnant or you got your girlfriend pregnant. If you roll a 2, you will pick up an STD card. You contracted a sexually transmitted disease. If you roll a 3, you will pick up a broken heart card. You got your heart broken. If you roll a 4, 5, or a 6, you are in the clear and you do not draw a card. These are the odds using a condom every single time that you have sex. That's it. Go. Have you ever heard of the term safe sex? What does it make you think of right away? Condoms. Hopefully you know condoms are not completely safe. If I were to take 100 married couples and tell them for an entire year, every single time they have sex, they have to use a condom. At the end of that year, how many of those 100 couples do you think will end up pregnant? It's about 15 out of 100. That breaks down to be about 1 out of 6, which is the same odds you get when you roll a dice. So in the dice game, you will have a 1 out of 6 chance of getting pregnant or getting your girlfriend pregnant. What else can happen from having sex besides pregnancy?